A California appellate court has refused to dismiss a lawsuit against Netflix followed by 4 of the subjects of the docuseries Afflicted. And this ruling may have implications for documentary producers, both as to the manner in which they obtain releases from interview subjects and their ability to edit their footage. Hi, James Pacitti, entertainment attorney and production counsel in Los Angeles. 4 of the subjects of the docuseries Afflicted have sued Netflix and the production company Doc Shop Productions in Los Angeles Superior Court for defamation, based on the claims that the show misrepresented their chronic illnesses by portraying their illnesses as not the result of underlying medical conditions, but as products of their imaginations or some mental disorders. The lawsuit may have major implications for how documentary producers acquire releases for interview subjects and how filmmakers can edit their footage, because all of the plaintiffs signed what appear to be standard releases for their participation in the project. These releases read that the docuseries may reveal information that is disparaging, embarrassing, unfavorable, and the releases further read that the depiction of the plaintiffs may be defamatory, even exposing them to public ridicule and humiliation, and the plaintiffs signed these agreements which explicitly waive the very claims that they have alleged, that being for defamation. However, the issue in the lawsuit is not whether or not the plaintiffs sign these releases or whether or not the language in the releases was sufficient or clear. The issue is that the plaintiffs allege that the individual producers misrepresented the waivers as mere formalities or routine paperwork as opposed to comprehensive legal documents that were waiving important rights. Also, the showrunners allegedly presented the releases to the interview subjects right before shooting, when the plaintiffs claimed they were too ill or tired to understand what they were signing. Finally, the plaintiffs allege that the series was falsely characterized to them as a serious documentary about chronic illness that would raise awareness. The ruling is unusual, as Netflix and other producers are typically able to prevail in defamation cases under similar circumstances by claiming fair reporting privileges and utilizing a statute that compels the dismissal of lawsuits that may chill First Amendment rights. Netflix enjoys the same liberties as news organizations that claim First Amendment protection. Courts rarely allow a party to escape the obligations of a release or other agreement that they have signed based on the claim that they did not read it, as all contracts have an implied duty to read. And a demonstration of this has occurred multiple times over the years, as Sacha Baron Cohen, for example, has been sued many times as a result of the projects in which he has allegedly duped interview subjects into participating, but all those lawsuits were ultimately dismissed. 2 immediate implications of this ruling for documentary producers are: producers need not only to get interview subjects to sign properly prepared releases, producers need to be sensitive to the circumstances under which those releases are signed, so as to avoid giving interview subjects grounds to later disavow the releases based upon the circumstances under which they signed it, in the event that they do not like the way they are ultimately portrayed in the project. Secondly, this case may place constraints on the freedom that documentary producers have typically enjoyed in editing their footage as they see fit. The Documentary producers often manipulate their storylines to weave cohesive narratives, as many documentarians find their narratives in the editing room during post-production. So often the narratives don't necessarily comport with what was told to interview subjects during the production of the project. If you have any questions or if you have a project you wish to discuss, don't hesitate to contact us.